Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm here with a new layout for the Paige Evans design team, and I'm challenging myself today to use a darker color pattern paper as my background. And this is paper number 15 from Paige's new Pick Me Up collection, and I'm using one of her cut files as well, and it's called the Faux Flower Background. And I pulled out a lot of the 12 by 12 papers from the Pick Me Up collection that I've already cut into. And you can't really see it, but I've already done the silhouette work and this paper is still on the background, but you'll be able to see it in just a minute. Now, this is one of those situations where I kind of cringe when I start to add gesso to a dark background paper because it is so visible. But I love to add mixed media to my layouts, and I had an idea in my mind, and it was going to require some gesso. And that looks like a hot mess right now, I know, but bear with me. Hopefully you will like the end result. But that's just the nature of gesso, white gesso especially. Naturally, when you put it on dark paper, it's going to show up white. And I like to have the edges kind of blend out so it's not super harsh lines. But it's going to be a little bit different, you know, if I'm using it on a light colored cardstock or white. You're going to be able to see it more, obviously, on this dark blue paper. But I wanted to challenge myself because I use white and light colors so much. So yeah, I'm going to try it and see what happens. And hopefully you'll like the end result. So I'm using some of my shimmers paints here. I've got a couple of different colors. I've got a coral color called Mango Tango, a couple of pinks called Ruby and Sweetheart, and then a golden yellow called Glorious Day. This is a Colorings Aqua color, and it's called Well Blue Me Down. So everything's dry so far, and here's something else. I like to do mixed media on top of cut files like this while it's still stuck on my cutting mat, but when you start to do this, it's going to sort of not glue it down, but it's going to make it a little bit more challenging to peel the pieces out of the cut file. So you have to kind of be patient with it, but that's how it's going to look. And I think that looks really, really cool. I love the design, and I'm not through adding wet stuff to it. So I'm going to add some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine, and I'm just put a little napkin underneath there just to catch any excess, since I did take it off the cutting mat at this point. And you can see how pretty and shiny it is. I've got different shimmers from the shimmers, then I've got the sparkle from the Heidi Swapp, and you can probably guess what I'm going to do next. Yeah, I'm going to back all of those little spots, and if you look at them closely, you can see that they're flowers, and so I want a lot of color behind these flowers, and I'm just going to do this, I guess you would say, the old-fashioned way. I don't even think this is an old-fashioned technique. It hasn't been around too long, but I'm just going to add glue behind the design and then stick a chunk of paper right on top of it and then cut around it. So I don't film this entire process because, you know, it does take some time. And I realize that now that I'm done with it, that if I would turn my paper a quarter turn, right or left, I would have 4 entire flowers going in a row. But for whatever reason, I turned my paper this way. And so when I made the first flower, I realized that it kind of cuts into the next flower, and so they're not perfectly made flowers just because I didn't realize what I was doing. But it doesn't bother me because I really wasn't using it for the flower aspect. I just wanted to use this as a design element, just sort of a graphic, you know, a random design, and it didn't necessarily have to look like flowers. And so I've got a lot of it done. I used a whole bunch of pattern papers. I got some reds, some darker blues, yellows, pinks, purple, and now I'm trying to decide between 2 pictures. I thought about using a pool picture because there was a lot of light blue behind her, but then the other picture had more colors that matched the colors in my background, and so I wasn't sure yet, because a tricky background like this is hard for me to choose the right picture because I don't want it to get lost in the background. I want it to stand out. So I want to jazz up a little more here and add some texture. So I'm going to pull out my sewing machine, and that's as far as it will come underneath my camera because of where my plug is. So you're going to have to just kind of watch me on the side here. But I'm going to change the thread a couple times and just do some straight stitching, some zigzags, some all kinds of different designs on the stitching, and I'm just gonna go straight through each open space. I've got yellow thread. I'm going to use the light blue here. I'm going to do pink, and then I'm going to go back in on the other lines and do gold. And I think this was number 14 on my sewing machine. It's not zigzag, but it's kind of like got a big zigzag and then 2 small ones. And I just think that looks really cool. It just adds some fun texture and a little bit of color and shine. Makes it look a little bit neater. So I decided to go with this picture, knowing that it was going to be a challenge because it's a color photo and it's got the deep blue in it of her shirt, and she's also got her little necklace on, and it's yellow and pink, and so the colors are great, but the background is busy, and so I'm gonna really struggle with trying to not let the photo get lost in the background. So I'm gonna go through everything that I've got on the right is from the Pick Me Up Journaling Spots pack. Everything on the left is from the Ephemera die cuts. And so I'm just playing around with layering. I know I want to pull in some flowers. There's actually a couple of different styles of flowers. If you look at the flower cluster I have on the right, that's actually, it's from the Ephemera, but there's also a pattern paper that has more of those style of flowers. And then the flowers that I have on the left of the picture are backed more in a white background. There's a white border, and they're just different flowers. And I wanted to use both of them, but the more I looked at it, the more it bugged me. I wanted the same style of flower, and so I'm going to wind up changing it. This is a cute little hat, and it's in the Ephemera pack, and it says, "Let the good times roll." And I thought, I never really do this on top of pictures, but I thought this is too funny. This hat is the perfect size for her head in this picture. And so I'm going to use it. And I found another one that's bigger in one of the 2x2 paper pads, but it's too big for my head. That looks so funny. But I actually thought about putting hats on both of us. I am going to take the hat off of me because it looks like I'm a trucker, but it looks cute on her because it's small and it fits her little head. And so, yeah, sometimes I just want to be silly and funny, and you know, it's a cute little fun photo. It was during the summer last year. She had been sick for a couple days, and as soon as she felt better, we met her teacher up at the movies, and so we had a little movie day, and she just had a good old time, and it was fun, and it was fun to get out of the house after she'd been sick for close to a week, and so that was a nice little pick me up. And so I just want this layout to be fun and colorful and silly, and I've got some die cuts and stickers going on over on the left. I cut out that circle that says "It's Your Day," and that was from one of the 2x2, the phrase paper pad. And then the ephemera that says "You Make Me Feel Happy." And I love that reddish orange color. I'm going to have actually a lot of that going on in the layer behind the picture, and then on the 2 flower clusters. And that's a color I don't use very often, but it's in this collection, and I love how it looks. This collection is full of darker, bolder colors, so I really wanted to kind of embrace that and try to showcase those. Now, if you have the 6x6 paper pad from this collection, then you will know several of the pages in it have gold foil, and that's what I was just showing you there on this little 6x6 cut apart piece. There's some foil on it, and so I'm going to cut a couple of pieces out. That little piece that says "Smile," and then this little blue banner, it says "Party People," I think. I just thought that was cute. Even though we were just at the movies, we were still having a good time and being silly. So I wanted to use that. I love the color. These are perfect for cutting and for using as little details like I'm doing here. This is a little purple piece that says "Fab," and they're gold foil. You cannot go wrong with the gold foil. And I'm fallen in love with these little thickers. They're like the mini thickers, because she also has a set of chipboard thickers that are bigger. But these are perfect, and they look really good on this dark background because they're white and they stand out. And I'm just going to name this "Good Times." Short, sweet, and simple. I didn't want a giant title. I didn't want to do a lot of covering up of the background, since that was sort of what I wanted to stand out. So that's a perfect size for this layout. And I'm going to stick with yellow thread, since I feel like the dark colors in the background are so rich and bold. The yellow thread is going to pop right off and be a really bright color. Since I have pops of yellow going on throughout the page, I just thought I would add a little bit more with some thread. I'm going to start to glue things down as I go. I'm going to make sure 100% that I like where it is. And I had someone ask me, or I've had several people ask me recently what kind of foam I'm using. That is just craft section, I guess is what I was trying to say. I get it in the craft section. I lost my okay, y'all. Brain of thought. Get it together, Missy. Speak English. I get it at Walmart in the craft aisle, and it comes in a pack of 40, and there are a whole rainbow of colors. It's very thin, and it has adhesive on one side, so you just peel it off and stick it, and it's very thin, but it's the perfect width and height for what I use it for right here. And you can get like 40 sheets of it for, I think, $5. But yeah, I believe it's in the craft section, or it's either in the kids section, like where the crayons and stuff are. I can't remember. I want to say it's in the craft aisle, close to the scrapbooking stuff, but yeah, I totally got tongue-tied there. I don't know what my brain was doing. So what I'm doing now is adding in more little tiny things. Puffy stickers, stickers from the sticker sheet, little puffy stickers. There's some really tiny ones, really, really cute ones in this collection. All kinds of colors, all kinds of things. Little thumbs up there, I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to make sure everything is glued down. Even stickers, if you're using gesso or watercolors or anything that has some kind of grit to it, definitely add some glue just in case, because nothing really wants to stick to gesso. Now these are the rub-ons. I was so excited that Paige included rub-ons. I'm going to use all the little buttons and just kind of rub them onto the page in a couple places. And the bright colors stand out on top of this blue background, so that's really cool too. But they really, really stand out on white. And if you don't want to, or if you're hesitant to do the rub-ons right onto the background like I'm doing here, scrape them onto either some vellum or some white paper and then cut them out, and you can use them as embellishments and then just move them around the page, so you don't necessarily have to rub it on in a permanent spot on your background. So yeah, a lot of this is just playing around at this point. The layout's getting close to being finished. Since this is a grid type of background, I have a line already drawn, so I'm going to do just a straight line across the bottom with my white pen for journaling, and then add more gold because it's gold. No explanation needed, right? And then I finally decided at the very end to add some white splatters, just because it's a dark background and I think it looks cool. So I just watered down some cheapy white acrylic paint and then splattered it around, and I think that's gonna wrap it up. Yeah, this was fun to do. Once I got the picture going and I got the design going, I love that background paper, how it's kind of dark and light, and it's not just one solid blue color, and I think it's really cool. And I know my picture in the layout is really bright, but it was the sun was coming in, and so it was already a really bright, kind of not ideal light photo, but I don't care. I wanted to document the memory, and I think it's cute. It matches this collection. The colors are so fantastic, and I can't get enough of all of the little bits and pieces. And yeah, so you can really make any type of layout with this collection. It's very versatile. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching.